I pressed
It
it so that
says
it should be
live.
running live.
Yeah, it says live in the top right-hand corner.
It said live. Oh my god! Oh my god! We've
Oh,
made it.
yes.
Oh, thank God for that. Oh my God, I thought I was going to be stuck here all day. So it only took me 20 minutes to make that work.
You not deny we are live.
Applause. Good job,
Hey,
Chris.
DBR Live is back. We have our own YouTube channel. We've got loads of people involved. I am so sorry that we're 20 minutes late. That was a massive fail on my behalf. So Sam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Don't call it a comeback, man. We've been here for years.
There was a moment there when we thought we weren't going to bring it back. I think I'm really happy that we're doing this again.
It was the sheer demand, I think. There was thousands of people asking for us to bring it back, so we got to make the people happy, right? So. Yeah,
we've got to make the people happy. We've got to everything for the community. So it's great to be back. Let's just really quickly run down what DBR Live is. Actually, do you want to do? I'll do what DBR is. You do what DBR Live is, or should we do it the other way around?
No, I won't do what DBR Live is. You can do the DBR.
Okay, so DBR is a community for in-house recruiters. We mainly spend most of our time on our Slack channel. There's now 1,945 members. They are all in-house recruiters. That means that there's on a daily average, there's about 350 recruiters posting messages in there, roughly. And there's about 900 people. Between 700 and 900 people.
And does it cost anything?
It's free. It's nice. Worldwide. We run drinks meetups all over the world, so it's completely free. It just costs you maybe the price of a pint or two. You get to meet some really, really amazing people, and it's been awesome for my career, for my learning, and it's been amazing just to watch this community grow. So that's what DBR is. What's DBR Live?
It's a good question. DBR Live is the best recruiting show bi-weekly, available via Google or other YouTube. You can actually join in as well. That's what's cool about it, with only illustrious recruiting guests and controversial topics every single week. And we are generally talking about things that are pretty practical, like recruitment related, things that are having immediate use or a good context for people working in a recruiting role. Whether you're a recruiter or maybe you're a head of talent or maybe you're even some global TA director. There's something relevant for everyone. So,
yeah, I think as you say, like there are lots of shows, but this is the best one, right? So we've got a couple of guests today. So you can see my missus in the background. So would you like to, Teddy, do you want to introduce yourself? Ladies first.
Thank you, Tris. Hi, everyone. My name is Teddy Dimitrova. Currently located in Bulgaria, but live in the Netherlands for the past 10 years. Work in Amsterdam for a pretty cool scale-up, and actually got to know the Dutch DBR kind of a thing before the one that Tris actually started, right? You started it, Tris. DBR, or was it
no,
else?
I didn't. I did not start DBR at all. Great question though. Hung Lee's, it was Hung Lee's idea originally. So Hung Lee, who you probably know, invited 4 of us for a drink in the Dragon Bar. And that's why it's called DBR. And we didn't talk about it for the first year, so no one knew. It was a complete secret. And just 4 of us and Hung Lee met up in the Dragon Bar and had a beers and started talking to each other. And from there, there's now loads and loads and loads of us. So yeah. So Slackers and Hackers was James Lesnar and Willem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And James Lesnar and Willem were members in London of DBR at the time.
Okay, so they took it over in the Netherlands, and then I think that was around 2.5 years ago that they brought it to the Netherlands.
Yeah, and I think you guys have done an amazing job in terms of like the Dutch community, right? You have so many cool people on it.
It's crazy, actually. Yeah, I remember when I joined like 1.5 years ago, I was still like very skinny and small, and it was like a very small group of people that were talking with each other and having drinks every now and then. And now we're for the Dutch size is quite big. Nothing in comparison with you guys, but there is still a lot of room to grow. But it's a very active community, and it's really amazing to see how much it brings to people's career as well. Because to be honest, I wouldn't have been where I am today if I didn't join Recruitment Slackers.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's cool. And so today we've also got Steve Jacobs, who, if you're in DBR, you probably know Steve Jacobs. He's a pretty well-known bloke, aren't you, Steve?
I think so.
I think, well, Sam, what did you say? You called him the most networked person in recruitment in the UK?
Yeah, I think so. I think Steve knows everyone. He's like Hung Lee. Hung also knows everyone.
I love Hung. He's just like a smaller version of me.
He's got a lot more hair. Sorry, no offense. Introduce yourself, Steve. Let us know. So, what are you up to at the moment?
Steve Jacobs. I've been working in recruitment for over 13 years. A mixture of agency, and then actually had my own business as well previously, which successfully sold, and then decided to move in-house. So I've been working in-house probably for about just over 6 years now, and mainly work within product businesses. Today, I'm actually working for within the services industry, working for a company called Devo Team. So I'm head of talent acquisition, specifically for the UK, helping them build out their brand in the UK. We're part of a larger organisation, about 5,500 employees globally. And I'm actually having a careers fair later on today at the WeWork offices in Moorgate. It's the London tech job fair. So if any of you who are online today are also going to be there, please come and say hello. That'd be great.
It's definitely, and there's definitely people online. I can see 10 viewers watching. So if you're watching or you're seeing it, hit the like button. Tell us what you could say and share it with all your friends. So today's topic, right? Actually, I was going to say something. I remember when you worked at McDonald's, Steve.
Best time of my life.
I always thought that was really cool that I knew the guy that was the recruiter at McDonald's.
I mean, listen, who else can take McDonald's digital? You know,
I think that's wicked cool. And what you guys built is amazing, right? The whole screen things and that's wicked cool.
Awesome. And no one ever knew that we actually had 2,000 engineers, mobile engineers, sitting in a hangar in America building them.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you get also free fries?
McDonald's are a big tech company, but people just don't know it.
It's a little bit scary, right? I think it's really cool though. I'm still massive fan. So let's just before we get into today's topic, I was going to ask you what you got up to in the summer. So what did you get up to in the summer, Steve?
I was in Spain with my family, wife, 2 kids. We were in Estepona, and we just had a nice, relaxing summer holiday. That was it, pretty much. I try not to think about work. It's always difficult. Can never actually properly switch off, but good holiday. It's a good one.
Nice. What about you, Sam? What did you get up to?
Yeah, I was in Russia, in Moscow, and St. Petersburg, living the dream. Yeah. Now I'm also like Steve, back at work. I think, did everyone just take their holidays and come back now? Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Teddy, you're still on holiday?
Well, yeah, I'm now for a week in Bulgaria and actually spent the whole summer traveling around, mostly for work, which is also really nice. But I think since May, I had around 20 flights. So I'm literally living out of my suitcase right now, but you eventually get used to it.
Yeah, I know that feeling, but I haven't done anything. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed at home. I shut off the internet, and you know what? It's made me it's changed the way I think because I stopped looking at the internet for 2 months, pretty much.
What? 2 months?
2 months, yeah. So my wife had a baby, which you can probably hear in the background, and we gave up the internet for 2 months, and it was great. It's really awesome. So I'm back. I quit my job, and. So we're back. So right. So in the summer, right, I was thinking about this thing. we talked about my favorite show from DBR Live because we've got a new channel, right? I want to talk about just very quickly what your favorite DBR Live moment was. My favorite DBR live moment was when we were talking about mental health. And Zeesh told me that you've got to remember that you've only got one mind. It's like one body, and you've got to look after that mind. And that's kind of like the moral of my story from the summer is like look after your mind, and it really kind of changed my perspective on things. So I want to say like how DBR Live has affected me like personally. But are there any cool, fun DBR Live moments? If you've watched them, you've seen them, you're like, yeah, this is really wicked. Sam?
It's like complete silence. I enjoyed our sourcing one. Like out of the sourcing without LinkedIn, I think it was really helpful for a lot of people. And I think I never saw so much response from it. So that made me happy. Yeah.
Teddy, have you ever watched DBR Live before?
Yes.
So that might happen. Yes, of course, every week.
Many times. It's just I have so many favorite moments that I can't pick one.
Steve, any favorite moments?
Yeah, I thought the talk around the wellness and health was a really strong and important subject. And I think there was a lot of insight in there as to how people see it, but also kind of buy into it at the same time, and how they deliver that within their companies.
I think it was such an important thing. And that's the one that it's interesting because no one talked to me about sourcing, but they all came and talked to me about mental health after that episode. And I was like, I don't really know much about it. But yeah, it's super cool. Right, okay, so this week's subject, really simple. I'm going to ask you guys, what is your favorite thing from 2018? What is the favorite stuff that's happened? What's the favorite content, tools that's helped you be a better recruiter? I know we've got a list of stuff to go through as well. I think you all know that where I'm going to conclude this with, because I think this is the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. Teddy, what's been the best part of 2018 so far? What's been the best bit of something you picked up that's really helped you as a recruiter and really helped you in your career?
I have to say that for me, the biggest thing is actually the conferences, because you can spend a lot of hours reading things on the internet or listening to podcasts, and it's amazing. But when you have that busy lifestyle of a sourcer, recruiter, talent acquisition, whatever, name it, you don't always have the time to do that. While if you go for 2 days on a conference, you literally get 20, 30 people pouring information in your head. And when you get out of that conference, you're already 10 steps further than what you were before entering the conference. So this is one of the biggest things for me. I went to SOSU in the end of last year. I went to SourceCon in the summer this year, and it's been amazing for me.
Yeah, I saw you at SourceCon. That's the first time we ever met in the real world, right?
True, yeah.
And SourceCon in Europe was a really amazing moment for me because I've been to SourceCon in the US a couple of times, but I'd never I was really surprised by it, just how quickly it translated and how you guys. Steve, have you been to SourceCon yet?
You know what? I really want to go. I still have not had a chance to go.
They are they literally you have this weird SourceCon atmosphere that everyone is a SourceCon fan and they all tell you how awesome the conference is, and it's all like we've been brainwashed. And I love them. I love that. And but it really is like that. And you go and you and you're there and you're like, holy shit, it really is they mind not
Someone I knew actually when I was 16, I noticed her name's Natalie, and she actually won the competition, I think, at SourceCon. I think she's head of recruitment for ThoughtWorks. And so she actually won the competition, which was pretty cool. I was like, I recognize you.
Yeah, Natalie Glick, she's head of sourcing at ThoughtWorks, right?
Head of resourcing.
And she's also head of resourcing, and she's also a DBR member. She's been in a while. I think she's a good friend of Buckland's, actually, because he used to work at ThoughtWorks a while ago. So yeah.
Winners, no? In DBR.
Huh? Say again?
I said we have a couple of SourceCon winners in DBR.
Yeah, I think we do.
Well, it wasn't me. I only got in the top 10 last time I entered. We have Catherine Robinson, who's a SourceCon winner. SourceCon Grandmaster. We have Ika Yusei, who won one of the hackathons.
At SOSU last year, yeah.
Yeah, I think he won the hackathon at SourceCon as well. I'm trying to think who are the winners that we have in there off the top of my head. SourceCon is really cool. So what do you guys think about SourceCon local chapters?
Is there one in Berlin? I don't have an opinion because I didn't know it existed actually. So.
Yeah, so they're just setting up local chapters.
Yeah.
There's one in London. Is there one in Amsterdam now?
Yeah, I've noticed the other day on Facebook. There is a local chapter, and of course, SourceCon is coming to Amsterdam next year. So I guess the community. But you know what the thing is? It's really funny because, of course, we already have the Slackers community. And organizing a SourceCon chapter feels like the usual suspects, just moving from the Slackers group to a Facebook group.
Yeah,
so it's quite the same.
It's the same people in the community, right, that move around, right?
Yeah.
They're always the same contributors, especially in sourcing, right? I mean, like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, SourceCon has a London chapter, super cool. Really like the fact that they're building local chapters. I'm not sure if we need it in Europe, personally. But I will be at SourceCon in Amsterdam. So I don't know. We've got to figure it out. I'm going to chat to Shannon about it and see why. They've got to make money, right, at the end of the day, these people.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, they've got to sell sponsorship somehow. It's not like DBR where we do this all for free and we're all just showing up and doing it all just, for something else. So. Yeah, so Steve, what about you? What's something that 2018 that's really kind of stood out, like that's really changed your recruiting game? You've been doing this a minute now.
I've seen, well, yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot, but I think more recently, I've been looking at various different assessment tools, more around sort of not from a technical perspective, but much more from a team fit. I don't like using the word culture too much because I think it's overused. It's probably say more around the person's attitude mixed with other people within that team. So I've been trialing this very cool app called Good & Co. I believe they're part of Stepstone Group. They were acquired by Stepstone, and I took the test, very, very accurate. Then I got about 22 people in the team to take it. Again, it gave some really, really interesting insights into the team and the type of personalities they are and where their strengths, weaknesses are. But also what I found was very interesting was it can be used not just from a, like a team fit perspective, but it can also be used for when you're restructuring teams. So you can look at profiles and say, okay, well, X, Y, and Z haven't been working very well with another X, Y, and Z, and maybe we need to shake that team up. So there's a lot of good data points in there to be able to use. So it's not, it can be. I really enjoyed it, I have to say, and it's definitely very from my perspective.
Is it based on the kind of the 16 personalities test, or is it based on the colors?
No, it's not. It's not necessarily colors. I'd say it's very much more around personality. You can, I think, you can at some points tailor it to if you wanted to do some sort of technical questioning, or if you were hiring developers or so forth. But I think it's good for more around team matching. So that definitely is, very advisable. But other things I've tried are various other. There seems to be a lot of recruitment agencies actually at the moment that are building their own platforms that want people to try. People like us to try them out. Yeah, it's interesting.
It seems like a low-light scene.
Everyone's trying to reinvent the wheel.
Is that where agencies are going to end up being? There'll be marketplaces?
I think so. They're dying anyway with their way of working.
I think it's definitely heading in that direction. But one of the things that I don't see enough of, and I think a lot of people on DBR do ask this question, is when they're looking for commercial candidates, so sales, account managers, customer success managers, people like that, it doesn't seem to be an actual platform like a Hired or an Indeed where you can find these types of people, especially from like the SaaS industries. So you've got all these various different platforms, for tech roles, but not so much on the commercial. And yes, Monster and Reed and they all do that, but I find them very, very samey. They're not proper qualified, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So I'd like to see who's going to come up with that kind of platform. That would be awesome.
Well, I think so if we talk about there is Hunted for recruiters, I would see them moving into the sales roles. I think that's they've done a great job, right, of changing rec to rec and turning rec to rec into marketplace, and they've got that. They're it's massive as well, and they've got that really funny. I think he's one of the funniest bloggers. Is that Ed Hunter?
Ed Hunter. Oh, I love this guy. I love him so much. I know him from my agency time. That guy was just really making my Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
He's definitely. I think that's a really cool. It's a very fun one to watch and pick up on. Sam, what about you? What's really stands out for you 2018?
Good question. I mean, there's always the tools and stuff I think we'll mention in a minute. I'm going to give the lamest answer ever, and I think this is the most disappointing answer. All of the Burson resources.
All of the what?
Like the Josh Burson resources, the guy from Deloitte.
I like a
large resources page with nice blog and ebooks and things. It's very, very consultative and very nice and strategic and very corporate, but super helpful, to be honest.
Right, that's super awesome. I need to read that. That sounds cool. This is the whole point of this, right? This is the beauty of this. I think I'm always messing around with tools, but I only get those awesome new bits of stuff to read from you guys, right? You guys are like all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that. Oh, I didn't know this. Was it like just reading books as well, and going out and learning and stuff. So super cool. We had a list, but I've lost it because my computer has been stupid. We have to talk about, right? So what's the thing that you read in your inbox every day?
Oh yeah, it does have to be brain food.
It has to be brain food. I mean,
Hung Lee he's a genius because he started the highest quality content recruitment newsletter and grew it to how many 20K subscribers or something.
Absolutely.
Super fast as well.
He got it so right. It's so and I think it's there's stuff in there that's so off topic as well that recruiters need to read. I think it's awesome.
Massive shout out to Hung Lee, who every single issue lists all the people who shouted out the brain food as well.
Yeah, I second that. What
a guy.
And Steve, I think I see your name on there every week, Steve. You just have you got a bot tweeting it or something?
Hey, it's brilliant. I think it's a fantastic newsletter. And I think all credit to Hung because he's worked tirelessly on this newsletter, which goes out repeatedly every single week, always on time, so dedicated to it. And the guy's a busy guy, but he never wants to give up on losing that audience, even though he's traveling all around the world all the time. So I think, massive credit goes to him. And there's a lot of information that is in there that, you can take from that. Even if you, quite frankly, even if you took 10, 15% away from it, it's still very, very useful.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I think there's always at least one link in there or something that is just super nice or super useful. So I hope he continues it. I hope he doesn't give up on the newsletter.
No, he won't. I don't think he will. It will grow. You will see.
Yeah. Also, for him, also advertising for free all the recruitment jobs in there as well. Yeah.
Do you have any idea if some people already found a job through the newsletter? Or maybe
I'm so sure that they did. I mean, I advertised a couple of jobs in there and I had applicants from it. So, I mean, they must have.
Yeah, we can certainly ask the question on DBR. We should do that. And then we can, in the next live DBR, we can let people know.
It could be very interesting to hear.
Or for such a nice long plug, Hung can ask in the newsletter if anyone got a job through it for us. Or maybe he even links this. And
he does it for free. He doesn't get paid for it. He does it from the goodness of his heart.
From the goodness of his heart, yeah. That's it. Cool. So we have some other tools as well. I don't know if you guys had any off the top of your head that you thought were particularly useful. We had some podcasts. I don't know if it was one of you that mentioned Chad and Cheese, or maybe this is Tris.
It was not me.
No. Okay, maybe we'll leave it if it's a Tris suggestion, because I think he's dropped out.
Yeah.
His computer has crashed or something. What we'll do as well after the podcast, we'll send a message in the Slack with all the links to all of the tools we're talking about as well, so everyone can access. If you're not already subscribed to Brain Food, that is, which I'm very surprised by that. So there was a tool here that I thought was really cool by CoSchedule. I don't know. I don't really use this product, or no, not really use it, but it's a headline analyzer. And what it does, like for free, you just have to give them your email, sign up. It analyzes the likelihood of someone to open your email based on the headline, and gives you a really nice breakdown of like how emotional it is, and etc. And is it too many words? And it's super nice, I think. I don't know if anyone is using this tool. Have you heard of it?
No, but it's quite fun.
In our chat, if you wanna check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually supposed to be for like websites as well, but I can use it for email or content or anything. It reminds me a little bit of like Textio in a way. You know, Textio's descriptions, but this is just for like email.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, actually, I don't know if just as a reminder, I don't know if anybody saw, I shared a large, long list of Slack groups on DBR to join that seem to be they're very active, very high subscribed groups for, pretty much anything from tech to data scientists to product, et cetera, et cetera. I've had real success out of that, joining those groups. I've hired quite a few people from there. So if anybody's listening and looking for new ways to kind of, get away from using the LinkedIns of the world, I would definitely engage in all these Slack groups and start having conversations with people. It works for me. Hopefully it will work for you too.
Yeah. Sorry.
I wanted to say that it's needless probably to say, but especially on the developer side, you have a lot of those. Steve, I didn't see your links. So I don't know what you've mentioned there. I'm participating in a lot of Slack channels for developers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's needless to say, but still, those are communities that don't wait for recruiters to go into their channels and spam them with messages. So if you do join those channels, make sure that you respect those communities.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't.
And
hunting. No. But I get a lot of referrals.
Steve's going in there and smashing Control and V. Every single. No, but yeah, no, I completely agree. It's the quickest way you can get banned or lose.
It's just about having conversation with people. This isn't about oh, I've just seen your profile. Let's have a chat. I want to hire you. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah. So I'm sure that we are laughing about it, but there are enough people that do things like that.
For sure.
So yeah, but I think it's it's a great list. I'm looking at it right now. It looks great. Wow, it's a treasure map.
A treasure map.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tris is back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I just seem to be having a completely useless day at technology, and now I'm just a robot face. I could listen on the other system that I had set up because I got a monitoring system set up next door. Look, everything is freestyle in my life at the moment. But I was listening about the Slack groups. I'm really happy you said that, Teddy. Please respect those spaces. Similar to DBR. It's just DBR is just safe space for in-house recruiters. We don't want people coming in and trying to pitch us. I think that and I wonder, Steve, when you talk about it, what made it so successful that you were making hires in them? Were you just posting jobs, or were you having conversations with people?
No, I was asking general conversations around tech. People started engaging with me, and they actually started asking me about my company and about what we're doing and what we're hiring. Again, it's talking about a subject or getting involved in a conversation that may have been posted. So again, it's not, you need to define the right channel for you. But I don't go in there posting a job.
I think you're right. I think that's like bang on the money. I think that's really important as well. So yeah, cool. So hang on. Any more tools? Where do we get to? We got CoSchedule. I really like that headline analyzer. Right. Sorry for me like coming in. And by the way, you can hear Cleo now because my wife has left the building. So Cleo joined us in a virtual form, hence no video. Wait. So anything else? Anything we really need to like really changed your game this year, like your recruiting game?
From my side, it was really funny because when I started tech recruitment, I didn't understand anything about what tech is, coding, and all those kind of things. I think that maybe that's not that interesting for 100% of our audience, but for the tech recruiters, I've used Team Treehouse, which is kind of an online university for coding. I don't say that you as a tech recruiter need to code or whatever, but you have a 1 week free trial over there. You can watch a couple of those videos where they actually explain what internet is, what coding is, and the different types of languages and stuff like that. This really, really helped me to step up my game as a recruiter and actually be able to talk a little bit on the level of the developers. And I've noticed that the conversation is going much easier if I know what I'm talking about. And then for the next step, I use Carbon.now, which is a kind of an online environment where you can write code. And I'm playing around with some emojis and with code based on absolute nonsense. But I can tell you that if I compare my postings on LinkedIn, where I'm posting, for example, a job for Blue Mon, I would have like maybe 1,000 views at top if I'm super lucky, with hashtags and tagging people and everything. As soon as I post one of those stupid pieces of code, they're full of emojis and they're so completely wrong. All those developers in my network and others, they start commenting how funny it is, or starting like, okay, you missed the semicolon here, or that code doesn't work and stuff like that. So I'm engaging people with absolute nonsense, but the views are going from 1,000 to 10,000. And it's a lot of fun to do. It takes you 5 minutes, and I get people texting me like, oh, listen, I really like what you're writing. I also see it on your LinkedIn profile because I have it like as a background and everything. And developers really like those kind of approaches, I've noticed.
Well done, you. I am 100% down with learning how this stuff works and being really creative with it. That is awesome. Like, high five.
I have a question. Does anybody use Instagram much for recruiting? Because I personally don't, but I'm keen to hear, you know, success stories, and especially if anybody's online, I'd like to hear some comments as well.
I do. I've hired an Android developer from there. It was really funny.
Used it for like X-rays, but not. One thing I want to do is this like. I saw this growth hack a while back about creating like a private account and then inviting like a to be announced thing, you know, to like hundreds and hundreds of people. And it's like to be announced on like whatever, I don't know, like 1st of October. And then it's probably just following loads of data scientists or something. And it's just like, we're hiring. And then,
that's cool.
You know, because they want to follow it because they don't know what it is. Like, I can't remember what company it is, but it could be super interesting to give it a go.
Do you guys... Sorry. Do you guys have an Instagram page for jobs or employer branding? Not.
It's something which I'm actually working on at the moment with Deborah Team UK. It's just because it's a lot of the social media is managed at group level, so it takes a bit longer to do.
So I got some really interesting information for you from Indeed for this one. So on the Indeed email campaigns for our opt-in talent networks, for the internal hiring at Indeed, obviously, the most clicked on link is the Inside Indeed hashtag on Instagram. The hashtag has over 10,000 posts on it now. So it was only started about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Brian Cheney started it up, and it had about 10,000 posts, and it's 100% one of our top ways to engage with the millennial typical millennial that we're hiring at Indeed, or we were hiring at Indeed, and it's super successful. It's like really, really good because it's very authentic content that everyone in the company is adding to, and then when you're hiring, I don't have to like make up a story. I can just send you to go check out the hashtag, and then they get this real story and this real feeling of what it's like to work in Indeed, and it's super successful, super successful. Something like 40% of all clicks on some of the email marketing campaigns. It's crazy, yeah. And I can tell you now because I don't work there. So
you raise a really good point, though, Tris. Nice. If you do it and do it well, it's great. But if you make an Instagram account for your jobs and it gathers dust and there's nothing on there, it looks like crap. You know?
Yeah.
Like don't create one if you're not going to do it properly. I think it's for sure.
One of the cool growth hacking techniques that I worked on is growth pods, and I learned that this year. Growth pods is a way of leveraging internal networks, build a very like small network of people, and then that are consistently liking and sharing their own content, and pushing it up the algorithm. And if you do that internally with your hiring managers and your staff and your teams, and you do a growth pod like that, it's a really cool technique to drive loads and loads and loads of engagement.
Yeah. That working very nicely.
There's a walkthrough on growthhackingrecruiters.com, but just for you guys, if you're interested on the group. If time is up, I'm going to close the show. Any last comments?
Are there any questions on the group chat? Is anybody making any comments? Where would they make the comments?
The comments are on the YouTube channel, and there's like Colin from Anna McKenna who said, "What's up, DBR?" He wrote a wicked blog on sourcing for GDPR, by the way. The comments are on the YouTube channel, and there's like Colin from Anna McKenna who said, "What's up, DBR?" He wrote a wicked blog on sourcing for GDPR, by the way.
What's going on here? There's like a delay or something.
I seem to have broken something else now.
Yeah.
Help! Why is technology dying? Can everyone hear me?
No. I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Not hearing me twice.
Feedback.
Fuck's sake. Right. Okay. There's no comments. We have a list of these tools. Any comments from you guys? Anything we missed?
No, I'm excited about the next one.
So the next one is how to write better messages. Actually, didn't we say how to write awesome messages?
Awesome.
Sam?
Awesome, yeah.
So Sam and I are going to teach you how to write amazing messages.
Messaging is key.
Yeah, get all that engagement. I think like from everything that we've talked about today, and from everything that just to conclude here, like all of these cool tools are great, but the only way that we can get any good at using them is from sharing real world stories. I've learned, Steve, from you about how to engage on Slack, and Teddy that I need to go and do some flowers on my code. But really, like you guys sharing your stories with me, like really helped me be a better recruiter, and that's a community like DBR, and just contributing to all these communities is really, really important. So to me, like if you're a recruiter and you're watching this, that's the most important thing for you to do, is to start contributing and start listening to the people around you, because those are the people that are going to make you a better recruiter, and they're going to help you hire more. And that if you hire more people, you get paid more money, and that's how it works.
Hashtag world domination.
It's coming. It's coming soon.
Also put all the links in the Slack as well.
We'll put all the links up in the Slack, and put up the next one. And thank you very much for joining in. Sorry for all my technology kerfuffles.
We got there in the end. That's what's important.
Woohoo!
All right.
1 down, 6 more to go.
Guys.
Bye bye.
That was a pleasure.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.